So right now it's 5 p.m., the last 24 hours of your preparation cycle. Now whatever might have happened, it makes sense for us to use this 24 hours properly, right? Now reason number one, we only have 24 hours. Reason number two, in your mind, let's say my audit MCQ did not go well. I'm not trying to defend your internal objective this time because there is no merit to it. After 24 hours, whatever you want to think, you think. But I'm not trying to contradict your thought that you'll pass, you'll fail, I'm not getting there. All I'm trying to tell you is, even if you believe that you're not going to clear the other papers, let's believe the resolution, it still makes sense for you to do this because this becomes the starting point of your next attempt. One of the lessons which you should learn is, what is happening for 30 days should happen for 60 to 90 days. That is their only understanding, right? Only lesson is, from our side it's very clear. What is happening for 30 days should happen for 60 days or 90 days. That is the only lesson. So again, going into the same loop, writing some exam and then getting depressed in one cycle, after results one more cycle, and then you'll have to 30 days once again. At least this time, avoid that nonsense. If people who are writing both groups, be reasonably ready for losing one of the groups or both. This is one of possibility. When people are writing only one group and you have other group left, anyways you have to prepare. So prepare for the other group until results and then you have to get started. For all of this to happen, your exam should end on a positive note. Last ball 6. Last ball 6 will give a significant advantage to the bowling team. Because you even if you score only 150, but still last ball you hit a 6, the momentum shifts. So this is like a last ball 6. Now I'll give you some very, very precise insights in terms of getting here. Okay. First is, how do we get to 40? How do we get to 40 is the first aspect which you have to work upon. Okay. The idea is to get 60, but the starting point is 40. Number one, MCQs. Okay. You should definitely get 10 and 10 out of 15. 10 by 15, 10 by 15. This is something which is very, very important. Descriptive, at least 10 by 35, 10 by 35. This is a bare minimum which you have to be very clear. Now, if you ask me what is the strategy, what should I do in the last 24 hours? My answer to a random person is, I don't know who the hell are you. It depends on you. It does not depend on me. It does not depend on what I think. Where is your problem category? Is this sorted? Are you in a position to score 10 out of 15 in MCQs and FM? Is this sorted? Is this sorted? Is this sorted? Is this sorted? If not, if you invest 2 hours, which will get sorted out of this? So get started there. Now let's say SM, you're already in a position to score 10 out of 15. Now by further investing significantly, the delta is only 2 more, 3 more marks. If you are reasonably sure about this, just leave it here. That's it. Let's say if you think in FM, no matter what I do, I'm not going to score 10. Let's not waste too much time into this, right? Then we'll see an opportunity. Let's say one of the scenarios, some of you might be open with this. This is a possibility. But you're not sure about this. But you're sure about this. So then identify segments. Okay, SM with my existing preparation, MCQ is sorted. Every additional step or effort which I put in this direction will automatically increase the score. I don't want to do anything about SM MCQ is a reasonable conclusion, right? Similarly, if you say that I cannot directly work on FM MCQ, however, my understanding in the regular formulas or my knowledge improvement in regular chapters, question practice is automatically helping you. So I don't have to focus on this. This is a reasonable conclusion. Now next comes what is already established. This is compulsory. You can't get away with this because if you're not scoring 10, you can't expect 25 in one of the papers, right? You cannot get away. You definitely have to get to 10. Otherwise, you lose out a lot. Let's say I did not do anything in FM until now. How do I get to 10? Is something which you definitely solve. Let's say someone, hypothetical situation, you're sure about this, but you're not sure about this. The reason is here, it can only move to 12. Out of 15, the constant is only 15. It can move to 20, it can move to 25, right? That is why you have to leverage, focus on this. Now, in this scenario, let's say you're reasonably confident about this and you're not confident about this. Now, what do you do? How do I get to 10 in FM descriptive? Now, looking at the list of chapters, Module 1, Module 2. Module 1 has better scope because Module 2 chapters are anyways difficult. So, let me skip Module 2 without worrying too much. Module 1, let's say cost of capital, leverages, ratio analysis, a bit of theory. If I only prepare this, can I get 10? Maybe yes. Okay, let me just work on that. Okay, this is, I don't understand the difference between multiple chapters. Let me pick up 3 RTPs. I'll only solve this. I'll use that. Can I get 10? Yes. See, when you have limited time, you have to respect your limitation and work in that time. Now what you're doing is, limited time, unlimited wants, the scarcity problem. Your target is not reducing from 25. Now the moment you think like this, your mind will be clear. How do you get to first 40? Now once this is established, your mind will become calmer. You're not respecting the most important resource, which is your mind space. You're over thinking about the material. You're constantly focused on pushing information. But what you're not focused is on your mind space. Your mind space should not get cluttered. It should not be underprepared. It should not be random. You have to give a sufficient amount of importance to that. Now any action which you take against it will work against it in the exam. So all the decisions which you take from here to here, 5 p.m. to 5 p.m., it is very important for you to ensure one of this is sorted first and then you move on. So you have to find a category where you can maximize the score. Where let's say 10 by 15, 10 by 15, 10 by 15, and then can I get a 20 by 15 here or 20 by 15 here. That is how you can maximize. But minimal strategy should apply so that you get to this. Otherwise you can't get 35 by 35, right? So this is the game plan. Automatically any betterment of this will lead you, it need not be 10, right? It can be 15. Will lead you to either 50 or 60. This is exactly how things should be super simplified. Is this clear? Now in FM, as I said, it's module 1 or module 2. Let's say 32 marks, 18 marks roughly, or 30-20. So you know what to do. Let's say in FM, now each chapter will give you an average of 5, 7 into 5. Because I'm combining this both, because FM, you can mix it. Now in this, you can at least slightly divide it. Each chapter can give you 7 to 8 marks of descriptive. This is exactly how you can look at it. Now out of which you have to be reasonably sure of chapters, at least 1 to 3 chapters. 1 to 3 chapters. If you study these 3 chapters, it gets you 10 marks. Let's say right now you're thinking, I have done nothing. Until now, I have done nothing. Then what would you do? Pick up 3 chapters where if you're already used to any material, pick it up. If you're not sure about any of the material, you have like just 10 pages which all of you might be having access to right now. You quickly go through all of this. I'll tell you the approach in which you have to go through this. For example, 3rd chapter. Now when you're going through 3rd chapter, one of the problems in FM is, I hope you have understood it after writing audit MCQs. Audit MCQs, they're not memory driven, and also you have to continuously process possibilities, because the question is not coming from a previous memory where they made it compulsory to look into the paragraph. Regularly, most of the time you need not even look at the paragraph. But yesterday you are forced to look into the paragraph continuously and think about some. It's not there in the paragraph, it's not there in the memory. It's a mix of both. This is a skill which is called evaluation synthesis. How do you mix the information in the paragraph with the pre-existing information in your mind together? Now, not all questions require that, but there are some questions which definitely require that. So for that to happen, the ICS decision is MCQs are going to be strict. Now you can expect similar thing tomorrow. Now similarly, what will happen? Now let's say you have something called product life cycle. You know the stages, but the question is which is the second stage of PLC? That is not the question. He'll give you a company's case scenario. At what stage do you think is the company's current product is in? So for you to understand that, when you look at growth, now growth is not the stage where it actually grows. Growth is where the market expands. Introduction is the stage where the product rapidly grows. So we are looking at product life cycle, the sales versus time. Now you need to have a very clear understanding of what actually happens at each phase. Don't get carried away with the words. Maturity is the stage where things stop. It's not a very growth stage is exciting the maturity stage. So if you don't have a realistic understanding of this, you may get carried away by the information given in the question, thinking one versus the other. So the question could be something like this, not which just by knowing the diagram, you are not going to score a lot of marks simply. Or if you look at the SWOT analysis, or if you look at the core competencies, or if you look at this Porter's generic strategies, you should understand all of this are part of the product differentiation strategies or competitive differentiation strategies. So if you don't know where this Porter's generic strategies are linked to, if you don't know that this is linked to USP or this is linked to competitive advantage, tomorrow you know answers separately, you would know questions separately. You cannot correlate both. So it is very, very important for you to map the heading and side heading together. So in SM, that is the first thing you have to do. What is the heading and side heading? Then you can expand. Otherwise, you'll write very vague and irrelevant answers. These are two things which has to be done for SM. So probably we'll do 1-2 chapters along with the way we did of it, so that you'll know the process to study. We'll complete a couple of chapters in that mode. This is about SM, which will give you some comfort that okay, SM has started. That is one. And also you can always use the points in the MCQs, and you can always use the question paper to rewrite answers in SM, and as I said, SM it is possible. That is one. Coming to MCQs in FM, one important thing is, if you look at costing case scenarios, I'm sure there are very few students who used the MCQs or who used the answer sheet for MCQs. Because when you solve case scenarios in costing, it requires a detailed elaboration of the entire sum. That is possible only when you write out everything in a larger space. If you crib everything in the question paper and leave it for some case scenarios, you'll be very confused about combining certain things. So that might lead to some mistakes. So for FM also, MCQs, I would strongly recommend you to go and write or use the rough work, just like you use for descriptive questions. Write the rough work in that last piece of the answer sheet, solve it entirely, and then try to answer the question. So that will significantly maximize the MCQ score. So tomorrow, if you want to get a realistic score, it once again boils down to how much you score in MCQs. That is how it is going to be driven. So now, I think if these two are fixed, you decide based on your cycles, are you fixing this, are you fixing this? Fix what is faster, and then maximize what is better based on your strength. It could be FM or it could be SM. So one, definitely get to 10 by 35. Two, try to get to 20 or 25 by 35. This is how the strategy should happen. The only additional effort which you have to put in is this. If you do some index mapping, it will be easy. Even otherwise, you can score largely, but it's a slightly a thinking process. Okay, this is exactly how it has to happen. And one important thing, don't let your mind think. Just learn. Thinking you have all the time in the world. And how you come out of the examination hall tomorrow. I'm not telling you how you have done in the entire attempt. That would not change anything. That can't be undone, right? How you come out of examination hall determines your next attempt or overall chance of clearing CA as a whole. Because if you don't build this sportive mentality, you look at the trend which you have always been going through. You write an exam with half-hearted preparation or even with full-hearted, whatever you think you're not going to do well. On the last day, you come out with a certain low level of energy. You come out and you try to catch up to that energy by doing some bullshit things. Suddenly you realize that the preparation momentum which took months to build is lost in 2 days. In 2 days, you'll go back to your bullshit life doing some nonsensical things, which even that won't give you happiness, and that will give you more guilt and stress. By the time results are out, again results crossing 1 more month, and then you're left with the same situation, right? How many times will you place yourself in the same situation? Instead, walk out in a stronger sense. Let's say you have only one group left. You have already written the group. You are not sure. Just give 3 hours of study time until the results. Just 3 hours of just repetitively. That's it. If you have 2 groups left, if you're writing only one group, immediately start the other group. Because it's okay. Even if you believe or not believe, just wait for the result and start the other group. If you are given both the groups, and if you think one of the groups is happening properly, start with the other group. Or if you think whatever it is, when you come out, don't come out with a loser mentality or victim mentality. That will impact the significant cycle of what has to happen for the next 2-3 years. Please understand, please operate with a sense of maturity. 10th class is 1 year. 10th class is 1 year, 9th class is 1 year. CA inter is 1 year preparation. This is exactly how you have to psychologically fix. Broken parts, if it's spread across 6 years, it is not going to help. But if you go to 2 months of school for class 10, how many years it will take care? It will take for you to clear 10th exams. This is exactly how you have to think. Okay? So no matter what, you do this for the last 24 hours, you'll walk out as a separate person tomorrow. That is exactly what you can do right now. Is this clear? Done.